back into another edition Fearless Friday Underground. Just the dynamic duo this week, Jay Bir, Lanny Beavers joining you like we always do. Man, we are getting into the nitty-gritty. It's about that time to start really digging into playoff seedings and potentials and all that kind of good stuff. Can't believe it.
Only 4 regular season games left.
That's it, man.
We're way beyond the hump.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from here. Then we get into the playoffs.
Yeah, that 0 week kind of lengthened things out, but it still goes by so fast,
quick.
it seems.
Sure,
yeah.
certainly does.
All right, let's going off here. Let's get into the top 10 here. We'll just dive right into things. Not a whole lot's changed. You see North Little Rock there, still holding down the top spot. And in fact, your 1 through 4 all the same there. Bryant, Fayetteville, Conway, Northside, and Greenwood kind of do a little switcheroo. Pulaski Academy, Bentonville West, and then Warren and Benton kind of flip-flop as well. So how about Warren up there in the top 10? Still hanging on, even climbing up.
It's just for fun right now, just for giggles. If they really play in, 10 would beat 9. Warren's a very good team, but Benton's a very strong team. I think Benton's, when you look at this top 10, I think it's just for fun, but I really think Benton's underranked. They're a very good football team.
Me personally, I think there's a couple teams that get left out of this thing. You know, for me, I've actually got Mount Ida and Foreman in there as a top 10, and not necessarily. I know a lot of times you guys like to do it as so-and-so can beat so-and-so.
That's exactly how we do it. And
I just don't subscribe to that theory.
Well,
I mean,
that's what a top 10 is, though. Who can beat who?
But they're some of the best teams in the state.
The best teams in their class.
Right, which if you're one of the best in your classification, you should be up there in the state.
Mount Ida is not going to beat a Bentonville West.
No, never would.
Or a Benton. That's why they're not in the top 10. They had great season, Mount Ida Lions.
No, man, put them up there.
But you got Jay right here, Bird, trying to get you up there.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to get him up there. But, you know, considering Foreman has officially not given up a point this year, come on now. That's top 10 material right there.
For their classification.
Tops in the state, if you ask me. All right, let's get into the 7A. No debate here. You saw a lot of them right there just a second ago, and here you go. North Little Rock, Bryant, Fayetteville, Conway, Northside, a couple others getting some votes there. As you can see, Bentonville West, Bentonville, and Springdale still hanging on to things. So we knocked a couple teams out from this past week. But, man, we were talking about before we started recording here, and Cabot, Cabot just cannot seem to get that 300. Took on Conway this past week. Gave him a game. I was actually a little surprised.
I thought Cabot would. I was too, but looking at the scores, I thought Cabot was going to get Malham's 300 wins. They're going to get it this week against Central probably. But 4-game losing streak for Cabot. How many times have you said that?
And not often.
But hats off to Cabot. They've been in every game lately. And Conway, a very good team. Conway, give them a lot of credit. They had a very emotional loss last week against North Little Rock.
Yeah, sure did.
Then they had to travel to Cabot, which is never easy.
Nah.
And hey, Conway did it, and they got it in overtime. That's the way it works.
Yeah, weird things happen in overtime, so you kind of would think that could be a thing. And
how about this right here?
I know.
Cabot's first couple scores by the passing attack.
You know, they're always dangerous when they sneak that pass in, and I've always. You know, I know Malham, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but I've always been like, man, if they could just embrace the pass just a little more. I know they've run that same triple option, dead tee, all that stuff since, you know, in the Pee Wee leagues. But, man, if they could ever find a quarterback who could consistently throw, man, oh, man, they would be nasty.
Second touchdown right there, passing.
Throwing the ball.
You might see more of it. It worked last week.
It tended to work. And Conway, like you said, they're a good team. They're one of the tops in the state. Yep. And, man, and poor Cat, you almost feel for them because, like I said earlier, they've been stuck on that 299 win. In fact, you know, you go back all the way to the beginning of conference play. You know, Benton kind of put it on them a little bit. No surprise there, but Catholic, a 2-point loss. Fort Smith Southside, 6 points. This one, overtime, like, oh, it's got to be gut-wrenching for not just that fan base, for that team. And you know they're trying so hard to get that 300.
They'll probably get it homecoming this week when Little Rock Central comes to town. So not saying anything negative against Little Rock Central, but Cabot's a better team, and I think there'll be a lot of celebration in Cabot. Well,
we hope so because there's the road looks pretty hard after that. At Bryant, then you host Northside, and you're at North Little Rock. So.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. I mean, you really want to get it this week.
Yeah, let's wrap that thing up.
Let's get that 300 wins this week, because it's going to be very difficult the next 3.
Absolutely. And do you think maybe that this is something that's sort of looming now, that they're trying to force it a little bit, and that's kind of why we see the close losses? It's not like they're getting blown out, but.
I don't know. They're playing well. They played some good teams. I mean,
they have.
They haven't lost anybody they shouldn't have lost to. They're all good teams, starting with Benton.
Yeah.
They're all good teams, and it's very top heavy in the Central. But the rest of the pack is very good too. Cabot's right there, Conway's right there. You have to put them. So it's a very well balanced conference right now, and they played Benton, a 6A non-conference team, which is number 2, and I actually got them 1A in the 6A.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
They haven't lost to anybody they should not have lost to.
Sure. You mentioned how top heavy that one is, North Little Rock. Is there anybody right now that you think can challenge it? They were taking on Southside this
Are you talking about in the Central or overall?
Well, either or maybe.
Well, if Fayetteville, and they will get the quarterback back.
Yeah.
When Fayetteville will. I mean, Fayetteville's going to be able to play them very good. And I think that Bryant-North Little Rock game is going to be phenomenal. I'd love to see that football game. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I think Bryant and I also think Fayetteville can play with North Little Rock. I think that top 3 is where they belong right there. I think they're all 3 very good teams.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue with North Little Rock.
Keep in mind, Fayetteville's already won at Bryant. They came down and won at Bryant, so they've already proved their point.
In a 1-point game, because when you get those 2 together, that's
Bentonville West. They're 3-3. Don't let the schedule get to you.
Yeah.
They're also undefeated in the conference, and they had their 1 win over Fayetteville. I mean, Fayetteville's 1 loss. They're Bentonville West. That's what I meant.
All right, so watch out for the Wolverines. They might start creeping up on you here, but we'll see as the season rolls along here. All right, a couple of big games this week. You mentioned Fayetteville. Got to go on the road to Bentonville. Ooh, that one is always a doozy.
I think so, but I think Fayetteville's just I think Fayetteville's just a better team, and I think the Purple Dogs are going to win that one. Here's North Little Rock playing. Let's see, that's
Southside.
Yeah, the Mavericks. Northside's a very good team too. They're playing well also in 7A, but I'd like Fayetteville in that game as they go to Bentonville.
Yeah, so that one ought to be interesting there. I'm with you there.
This is a good game right here. This Northside Conway. That's a very good game right there.
That's a sneaky good game.
We're going to find out really how good both these teams are.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the edge to the Grizzlies of Northside.
Ooh.
But this is a very good game. We'll find out if Northside is as good as we think they are.
Now, this could very well determine there's a lot of playoff implications here. Now, granted, you take the winner.
Still early.
Yeah, still pretty early. Not looking at the schedules, I would assume that both these teams are going to be in the hunt.
They will be
for like that 3rd place.
Well, yeah, they will because you're probably going to have North Little Rock and you're going to have Bryant going to be 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So the winner of this game right here is going to be 3, I imagine. Northside Conway.
Yeah.
If they finish the season the way we project it.
Yeah, absolutely here. So there's a lot going on in this game, even though it's like you said, we're kind of just midway through.
It's a great game. I don't know where you're going, but I know this. I've got Northside by a little. I think they're a little bit better than Conway. We'll find out.
I would probably give the edge to Conway just by a hair, though.
Team.
Home team. That's a tough place to play.
It should be a great game.
Just had a bruiser of a game there against Cabot, and a lot of times we see those teams if they have a tough game.
It's 2 back-to-back.
Then they end up.
They played North Little Rock previously, talking about Conway. Then they played Cabot and got a squeaker in overtime. They get to go home now, so
we'll see.
It's going to be a good game. I'm just
a couple of X factors involved there, but that one's going to be good.
Northside by an edge. Wouldn't surprise me if this one goes to overtime also.
And definitely a coin flip in this one, so
I think so.
We'll go opposite way on this one. All right, let's get into the 6A here. A lot to talk about there. Greenwood still holding down the top spot. Benton right there behind him. I'm with you on that. West Memphis. A lot of first place votes there for West Memphis.
They're a very good team.
But they're still behind Benton. So if that tells you what the people think about them.
Yeah, a lot of people are not seeing West Memphis play because they're over there in the East too.
Yeah.
That has a lot to do with it. And the conference of the 6A East is not as good as the West when you got Greenwood and Benton right there in the same conference.
But you do have Searcy and Jones Boogie jumping up into things.
But see, you got West Memphis, Searcy, and Jones Boogie, Jonesboro.
That's it.
Searcy or Jonesboro, they're not equivalent of a Greenwood or a Benton.
No, I'm with you there.
And that's what we're talking about right there.
Yeah.
Russellville got a big win last week as they held serve against, I thought it was a must-win game almost for Lake Hamilton.
Yeah, you said it.
I was there. Congratulations, Russellville, Jeff Weaver. El Dorado is El Dorado, very good team. They've had some big wins, so they're on the cusp looking in.
They are.
So there's still a lot of good football to be played in that 6A also.
Absolutely, and we mentioned Jonesboro here, and I'm going to say I'm a little bit surprised here. They took on Pine Bluff this past week. Go ahead and throw it up for me, guys. But this has always been a game that's sort of tripped up the Golden Hurricane, but they came and got them this time.
Yeah.
What's going on down there in Pine Bluff?
Well, I think we had Brad Harris from Benton last week.
Yeah.
He was talking about they've had some injuries, and I think that makes a big.
Okay.
When you get injuries, that makes a huge difference, and I think that's what you're seeing. But you know, Jonesboro, they've been very good, and then just kind of falling apart at the end. It's good to see them get a big win like that, and I'd love to see Jonesboro bring it on and get more powerful.
Yeah.
Got a lot of tradition there. Jonesboro's old state championships in the 70s. It's a very good team. I just think right now the injury bug has hit Pine Bluff a little bit.
And I know we've talked about too several times here about just a team having another team's number, and no matter what the circumstances are, just kind of happens to fall that way. I feel like this is one of those games for Jonesboro. It's like, okay, monkeys off the back. They finally beat Pine Bluff in sort of a meaningful game. And this could very well be a catapult for them.
It could be, but there's still a lot of football, as we say, left to be played.
Absolutely. And another one of those teams that's been sneaky good this year, Searcy, took on Marion this past. I had Marion in this one. I wanted to see if Searcy was for real, though.
I would have gone with the Patriots. But Searcy right here, the Lions, they're playing at home.
Yeah.
I thought they had a better team than what they performed last year in the playoffs. I'd seen them in the playoffs. And they lost a good quarterback. Name surpasses. I can't remember.
The LSU commit, though.
Yep. But I really liked Searcy last year. I've liked Marion. I've seen them past couple of years. I was like you. I thought Marion would have won this game.
Yeah.
Hey, Searcy held serve. That's what you got to do. You've got to hold serve in these conference games. Hold serve and then get you a couple steals on the road.
Yeah, that one definitely. You know, we talk about some playoff implications there. I mean, that's going to kind of fall into that 3 through 6 seed kind of setup here, especially now with Pine Bluff struggling a little bit currently. What we're sitting at here, if I could pull it up here, West Memphis and Jonesboro actually leading the conference right now, and then Searcy, Pine Bluff right behind them, both at 2-1, and then Marion kind of struggling now at 1-2, Jacksonville also 1-2, and then Sylvan Hills Mountain Home kind of bringing up the rear right now. So still a lot to be decided, but that one goes a long way in kind of semi-determining where the shuffle could end up.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how it all breaks down here for Marion. They've got Mountain Home, which should be a win for them. No disrespect there to the Bombers. They got Pine Bluff, Jacksonville, and then Jonesboro left. So they could still kind of creep in, but it looks like that one could be a dagger for them in terms of hosting some postseason games. So we'll see how things break out. And for Jonesboro, I mean, they're sitting pretty, but we're going to see how for real they are coming up here.
Well, yeah, they got West Memphis.
Yep. In fact, throw it up for me. Big game this week. Boom, there they are.
Yeah, at West Memphis. This is a huge game right here. I'm going to jump up real quick.
Let's get to it.
To the 6A West. This El Dorado Benton game. El Dorado, they're a sneaky good team too, and they'll be real interesting to see how that goes. Right now, El Dorado's coming in with a 2-1 record.
Yeah.
But this game is at Benton. You know how well I like Benton. And,
I like Benton in this one comfortably myself.
This El Dorado struggled last week for some reason in the first half with Sheridan. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, but they did.
Yeah, it could have been one of those things where you take a team lightly.
Maybe, but they did. You know, they won 31-17 at the final. I think they're going to give Benton some trouble.
Okay.
But I think Benton will win this one. Russellville, Greenwood. It's Greenwood. They can name the score. I'm sorry to say that. Greenwood is that good.
I'm right there with you.
I've seen Russellville play. They got a good quarterback. They're very well coached, but I just think Greenwood's got a lot more firepower.
Yeah.
West Memphis, Jonesboro will be a good game, but I think West Memphis is the better team, obviously, and it's at home.
Yeah.
It's not a bad road trip for Jonesboro, but I do like West Memphis in this.
I would probably agree with you across the board there. I think Benton wins by probably like 14-20, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
I think.
Can see that.
Greenwood whitewashes, and then I think West Memphis kind of
Greenwood will play their backups in the second half.
Yeah, and I think that West Memphis probably about a 10 to 17 range, I think.
Well, we don't do point spreads.
We don't do point spreads, but I'm just saying for context.
I think it'll be more than one score.
Yeah, it'll be a couple scores, I think.
I agree.
2 to 3. I'm right there with you.
I agree.
All right, there we go. There's the big dogs here. We got a lot to talk about here in the 5A, 4A especially, and you know how much we love that 4A7 around here on Fearless Friday Underground. So stay with us. We got more.
For a limited time, Wendy's Double Stack is just $1. A quarter pound of Wendy's fresh, never frozen beef and melty cheese, all for just $1. You may never see a deal this good again. So get a double stack for $1 from Wendy's today.
Fearless Friday Underground back at it here. We're already sorting through things here on the old Fearless Friday app, and you can also follow along with us there. So make sure you download that. We'll kind of give you the hints on that towards the end of the show here. All right, let's get into the 5A here. Not a lot has changed, and it's been practically all season. We've kind of seen these teams in some varying order. Pulaski Academy, McClellan, Christian, Harrison, and Texarkana, and then a couple of outliers there. You see Blytheville, Nettleton, and Whitehall getting up into things. Whitehall, we were talking here in the break, they're actually 3-0 in the 5A Central, so Bulldogs out here showing out. I honestly had no idea because I just hadn't kept up with them, and they sort of creeped up on me, and you know they're sitting pretty at 4-1 there in the Central, tied with PA and Parkview. So how about that? Whitehall, go ahead and get you some.
Yeah, and then they're also going. They haven't played Pulaski Academy, and they have not played Little Rock Christian yet either. They're in the same conference. But hey, congratulations, Whitehall.
Yeah, they
doing very good.
Actually, now you mentioned that they're going to end the year on a 3-game streak against those 3 teams. You've got Christian, Parkview, and Academy, and
yeah,
we'll see how for real they are.
We'll find out how good there's a huge matchup we're going to get to in a little bit.
Yeah,
I really like the top 5 right there.
Yeah,
Pulaski Academy's class is just right there. Little Rock Christian,
still right there.
Hopefully they can get Justice Hill back. I haven't heard. McClellan, though, man, they're a very good team. They're a machine. Harrison's a very good team. I mean,
you like Harrison now a little bit.
Well, it's like you. It's like you. Just watch. You know, they kind of surprised me, but they did come on strong last year.
Yeah.
Of course, from the get-go, I've said you better watch out for Texarkana.
Yep, been on it.
And we'll find out Friday night how good Texarkana is going to show if they're a contender or a pretender this Friday night, and we tell you who they're going to play.
Yeah, and they played last week against Lakeside. We had Tyler Thomason down there, and I mean,
looks like a bad snap over
there. So not the way you want to start things here, but they kind of settled in on this one.
Yeah, Lakeside's is a good team. They're not a great team, but they're a good team, and I really like the fan support that Lakeside has.
I love going there.
Jared McBride, just an outstanding person and coach. But you know, we talked about this last week. Just too much speed, too much firepower.
They're so fast
for Texarkana, and they're used to playing 6A schools.
Sure.
So it's nothing for them to come play a 5A school. You know, look at the power right there,
the stiff arms.
But look at the size too. You know, we're talking about the size of the man himself. The classification size has dropped, yes, but just look at the size difference in the players.
Oh, there's some beefy dudes, especially in that line.
Yeah, Texarkana is beefed up. They're bigger. They're a former 6A school. They got speed, as you're seeing it right here.
And that doesn't always, let's just preface this, that doesn't always translate to success if you drop down a classification, because we've seen it time and time again. I know Magnet Cove is our unfortunate example here, that a team that has dropped down and we thought, oh, they're going to run away with things. But Texarkana is built, man. Like you said, they're big, they're fast, and they're big and fast.
You saw them coming on last year.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate for the 5A schools that Texarkana's now in their conference. But a very good team. Very good win for Texarkana to go on the road.
Solid W right there.
At Lakeside.
And it should be fun to watch them as the season goes along here. I'm just be curious to, not necessarily that they can't handle the grind of 5A, but you know, the 5A is it's a little different in the aspects of from the 6A. If you ask me, I think the 5A is a little more pass happy than what the 6A. I think 6A. You kind of.
I would
kind of mix it.
Texarkana's been playing Greenwood, which is Connor Nolan the past couple of years, and has played Greenwood well. They're not going to be afraid of anybody.
No, goodness no.
So Texarkana. I really like Texarkana.
I want to see them in the postseason going against some of the upper echelon. But like you mentioned, they're already going against the upper echelon this week. Basically, conference title on the line. Big-time game this week as they take on McClellan.
Yeah.
Woo!
Very smooth.
Come
We're
and get you some.
going to try to get him on the show pretty quick.
If you're watching, Coach, come get at us. We're going to get you on
This is a
here.
great game right here. You really need to see this game. If you're close, you've got to go.
It's down here in Texarkana, but it don't matter.
You got to go down to Miller County. What a great matchup. McClellan, Texarkana. Man, this goes all the way back. This was a rivalry, Jay, way back in the late 70s, early 80s. Little Rock, McClellan, Texarkana, and they were fighting for just an overall state championship.
Right.
Great rivalry. Both schools have dropped, but there's a lot of tradition. They played each other before years ago. It's great to see them playing again.
Yeah.
I'm fired up about it. I wish I was at this game. This will be a lot of fun.
I'm with you.
You're wanting to pick, I suppose.
I mean, flip a coin. I mean, both these teams are.
Oh man, it's so tough to.
I'm gonna let you. No, let me go first because you always go first.
All right.
I'm gonna go the Razorbacks. I think they edge it out in this one because I think they got something to prove. Obviously, the first year, down here in the 5A in the conference and everything, this is going to be their big test of the year. I think they're going to try to show out a little bit. I think they get them.
I'm going with McClellan.
Ooh!
I built up
All
Texarkana,
right.
but they haven't played a very good 5A team. They're going to play them Friday night.
Yeah.
And I think Little Rock McClellan is going to get this game on the road.
Okay.
And
all
because, yes, Texarkana's dropped down in classification, but Little Rock McClellan's been in the wars. They played PA for the state championship 2 out of the past 3 years.
They were in that 5A Central where it was just dog fights for the past few years.
I'm going with McClellan on this game, but I'm really looking forward to seeing the outcome of it. What a great football game.
That one's going to be a nasty, hard-hitting game,
I'm going to be watching.
too.
I will have my phone. I'll be broadcasting the game, but I'm going to be checking this score right here.
That's one I wish I was going to. And there's another game down that way, too, I wish I was going to as well. We'll get to that here in a bit.
If you look at the matchups just in all the classifications, this may be the best week for high school football. When you look at the matchups and what the implications are involved.
Oh, yeah, because there's a lot of cream rising to the top.
Absolutely.
Right now, just kind of glancing through, I mentioned Whitehall, and then, they haven't gone through the buzzsaw of their schedule yet, but, they're kind of a pleasant surprise. Because only 4 teams really are going to be able to get into the playoffs right now. BB is one of those teams that I really thought that they would be a little better than what they are, but they still got a shot, I think. And then you look at the East, Blytheville. I mean, they're getting votes. They're looking pretty good. They're leading the way in that one, and that's a conference that has win in there. And then Valley View has looked pretty good this year. Nettleton, also another one of these teams that's getting votes. I mean, you just got a log jam there in the 5A East because, let's see, you got Blytheville leading the way at 3-0, and then the next 4 teams are all at 2-1, and they're about to start playing each other.
That's when it's fun. That's why it's real fun right now. There's going to be a lot of good football. Make sure that when you get home, that you turn it on Channel 16 for the Fearless Friday show and the statewide show.
Yeah.
And keep up with Fearless Friday for all the scores that'll be coming in because there's a lot of good football. A lot of good football this Friday night. Like I said, I think it's the best night for matchups this season, this Friday night.
Yeah, a lot of good ones here. And even though some of the big games that we got, those are kind of our ranked matchups or teams that are getting votes. A lot of other good games going on.
Well, there's so much football. There's 4 weeks to play. A lot of shuffling's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of shuffling will happen after this Friday night.
Yeah, and another big one that's going on, Harrison actually going to Greenbrier, so we're going to be out there at that one, too.
I think Greenbrier's a little bit down. I like the Golden Goblins in this game, but it should be
the Gobs.
Should be a good football game.
Should be a high-scoring affair there because Greenbrier's been known to put up some points as well. So I'll be fascinated to see how that one plays out. And then really even in the West as well, Alma is still,
Alma got a big win.
We kind of forgotten about Alma, but there they are.
They got a big win last week themselves.
Yeah, they're still undefeated in that conference as well. And then you kind of have a little logjam at 1 and 2 there for that last playoff spot between Valonia, Morrilton, Farmington, and Clarksville.
Yeah, and just think
a lot going on there.
Morrilton doesn't lose their quarterback in preseason. They're right up there.
Hey, yeah, they would have been.
Oof. I mean, they were a preseason 1 or 2.
Yeah, they were. They were up there.
The Devil Dogs.
And then, man, unfortunately, what an injury can do there for you.
It certainly does.
All right, let's get on into the 4A. Again, not a lot to change here. A couple shuffling going on. Warren still holding down the top spot.
I do want to remind you, though, that I did tell you Robinson would win that game last Friday night.
You told us, yeah, you nailed it. I
just wanted to remind you once again, Jay.
Yeah, Robinson there. You got Rivercrest, Nashville still up in the top 5, though.
That was a big win for Bauxite also.
Oh, man, yeah. I really like the Miners right now. You see a bevy of other teams there getting some votes.
outstanding, looking very good. Shiloh had a big win. Shiloh's putting up a lot of scores again, too. Do not count out the Saints of Shiloh.
Not at all. And Dardanelle, they've been kind of one of those teams hanging on. Yeah, same thing with Stuttgart.
Arkadelphia's coming on. Beat a good Fountain Lake team last Friday night. Scored a lot of points.
Sure did.
And we knew, and defending state champion, we knew that they were going to get it together eventually.
They sure did. All right, let's go to that Robinson-Nashville game. I was down there at that one. Man, that was a great atmosphere. I love it.
Yeah,
homecoming, you had all that good stuff in there as well. So, and I mean, it's always a good time when it's homecoming night.
Robinson's just so good. You know,
they are fast.
They've already gone up to Springdale. Going to Nashville is a tough place to play, but Robinson's already gone to Springdale, so that road trip that wasn't going to bother them. Very good run right here for Nashville.
Absolutely, and that kind of started the scoring off. But really, in this one, I mean, turnovers. Turnovers is what burned Nashville. They had 7 turnovers.
You're not going to win very many games with that kind of turnover.
Yeah, and I know they had, at least that I could count, that I can remember, I know of 3 picks that were around kind of the 25 or further in. And I know they had one there at like the 1-yard line. They had a nice.
That's a good run right there. Just bowl over the defender about the 3-yard line and go on.
And the crazy thing is Robinson's already lost their best back on the year. He had a knee injury, I believe, there in that game against Arkadelphia. I was down there at that one, so I'm sorry, Robinson. I was kind of a bad look there for you.
I just think this Robinson-Warren matchup eventually is going to be the key in the 4A. There's so many good schools here, but wow.
Yeah. Well, nothing to scoff at there in Nashville. You're playing a lot of sophomores this year. I think, from what I remember, they had 14 starting sophomores.
Well,
so give them a year or two.
And you said it. You're not going to win many games with 7 turnovers. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And you can't do that.
Yeah, and I mean, credit Robinson. I mean, some of them were self-inflicted, but you create your own luck sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes a team will try to do what they're not accustomed to, and that will cause turnovers. Because they're trying to do things they're not used to because they're struggling with their opponent. And the mindset, the psyche will cause a turnover.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wouldn't count Nashville all the way out. That's a real good team, and they'll figure it out because Coach Volarovich, he's one of the best in the state, one of the nicest guys too. My goodness, he even came to me after the game in a loss, mind you. And he made sure, he's like, hey, man, did you get enough highlights? Even though Robinson put up plenty for me. But, hats off to Coach Volarovich. He's one of the good ones here in the state. One of my favorites. All right, no real big key matchups here in the 4A this week. But, again, get on Fearless Friday. Get the app. Plenty of decent matchups going on across the state. Lots of playoff implications.
Make sure I'm sorry I walked on you.
No, you're good.
I was just going to say, make sure you go out and watch those Rivercrest Colts. Very good team over there in Northeast Arkansas. I keep talking about Warren, and I keep talking about Pulaski Robinson. I've been doing it all season long. But I'm telling you, Rivercrest can play with either one of those schools.
Bauxite, another one of those teams. I would be remiss if we didn't talk a little more Bauxite here.
Bauxite's scary good.
They are good.
This was supposed to have been a better game.
It was.
Against Haskell Harmony Grove. But, man, Bauxite, you got to give it to Coach Patton. He has really
flipped that program.
Bauxite was your homecoming opponent.
Oh, they were a doormat there for years.
Several years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, he has turned it around so much.
Yeah, so, man, what is it just, from what you know, is it just an X and O thing? Is it kids got to buy in? Because, a lot of times when you're a doormat for a few years, you just kind of get into that culture.
Yeah, you do.
Losing.
You do.
So what do you think the turnaround there is?
Not saying anything negative about the previous coach.
Sure, no.
But a lot of things will happen when you get a new coach. One, it energizes the team no matter what. It's going to energize them.
Just something new.
Some of them are going to try. It's something new.
Yeah.
It's going to give players that weren't playing much an opportunity to play.
Yeah.
He had a history when he was at Bryant, so coming into Bauxite, talking about Coach Pat, they knew he was a good coach.
Yeah.
And that maybe some kids that weren't going out in that district now have gone out.
That's true.
Sometimes you get some move-ins.
Because they're right there mixed in between that Benton and Bryan area.
Yeah, they're right there on I think, let's see, I can't think of the highway right now, but it's right there between Bryant and Benton on the south side.
Yeah, they kind of triangle them in.
Exactly. So maybe some move-ins.
Okay.
Don't know for sure. But he's also got the former head coach at Haskell that's come back over as the principal and his offensive line coach and Coach Callie. So you've got the former 2 Bryant head coaches, and now you got Patton and Callie together. So
that's not even fair.
That's great firepower. So they're scary good Bauxite.
They're good. Watch out for Bauxite. And again, that 4A7. Boy, I tell you about the 4A7, man. I know we tooted too much here. I know we do.
It's the best
Admittedly.
It's the best conference in football.
In the state.
You don't want to play
in the state.
Even, Fountain Lake's lost quite a bit, but they've been playing some good teams. That's still a team you don't want to play.
Yeah, Malvern. I know they're in a little bit of a down cycle, but they're another one of those teams that are good. Arkadelphia,
Arkadelphia's coming back. You see Arkadelphia coming back right now.
Man.
So it's a very good conference.
It's a nasty
So
conference.
unfortunately that somebody's going to be left out of that conference.
Someone got to get left out, man. I'm sorry. That's just how it works here. All right, like I said, no real ranked matchups this week, but definitely get on there and check them out because there's plenty of good ones, a lot of implications going on too.
I got to go back to several years ago. Can you imagine, we talked about that 4-7A conference, at one time Pulaski Academy was in that conference?
I remember that, yeah.
Wow.
And there were some shootouts in there with Nashville. I remember when they used to go ahead. Ashdown when they were on the ups. Oh.
Robinson was just coming up then. It was just.
That's right. They were coming up. Yeah.
Working their way up. So yep.
Man, oh man, how time flies.
Yep.
All right, that's it for the 5 and the 4A. Coming up here, we'll stick around for this one. 2A, we have got a doozy of a game. Best game in the state, if you ask me. That's just me though. Call that a tease around here. Fearless Friday Underground. Stay with us.
For a limited time, Wendy's Double Stack is just $1. A quarter pound of Wendy's fresh, never frozen beef and melty cheese, all for just $1. You may never see a deal this good again. So get a double stack for $1 from Wendy's today.
Fearless Friday Underground back here with you. Laney's steady doing some research here. He's looking back and he's looking ahead here just a little bit, but we'll get to that game that he's looking at here in just a few minutes. But while he's doing some of that, let's get into the top 5 here in the 3A. And a little bit of shuffling around. A lot of the same teams. You see Boonville, Clinton there, that 1-2. Smackover. Even getting a first-place vote. Somebody really believes in Smackover. It wasn't me. I've got him in there now, but it wasn't me. And then Rising Prescott, and then you see a whole bunch of other teams still getting some votes.
I think all of us last week, and I'm going to include Coach Harris, we talked about this.
Yeah.
Prescott Smackover. It was the game of the.
It was game of the week.
It was one of the games of the week.
Yeah, throw it up, guys.
I don't think anybody, but maybe the fan base and the coaching staff and the players at Smackover gave Smackover a chance for that game. I just don't see how anybody thought that you would go to Prescott and get a W.
Yeah, that's a hard place to play at. I've been down there a time or two. And
yeah, exactly. Congratulations, Smackover.
And that's the kind of game I was anticipating right there. 21-20. I thought if they were going to win or lose, either way, I thought it was going to be a close result because both these teams are just that good. But
that is a huge win.
Man, that's a big win. That's a catapult kind of win right there.
I mean, that is just a huge win right there.
I thought pretty highly of Smackover to begin with, but boy, oh boy, for me, this elevates. Buckaroos, man, hats off. I'm on the wagon now. I am on the bandwagon for the Buckaroos.
Well,
that's big time.
You have to be. When you go to Prescott and you win a game like that, you have to get on that bandwagon.
That's impressive, yeah.
That was a very impressive win.
That was I cannot emphasize that enough. I mean, look at it, because this is what you're dealing with at Prescott. They've got big dudes toting the rock. I mean, they're just one of these powerhouse teams. I mean, now Smackover has been good the past few years. Not to take away from them, but man, that's a big win for them. Man, Buckaroos, go and get you something here.
Yep.
Looking around the 3A here, let's see who else we got here because we've got scenarios going on. You saw Mansfield getting some votes. How about some Mansfield here? They're leading the way right now in the 3A1.
But they got a big
6-0.
game.
Yeah.
Look at that. They're going to play Boonville this week, number 1
team.
team.
Look at right on cue.
The Bearcats.
Yeah. We're going to see how real they are.
Yeah, we're going to see how real Boonville is because they're going to win that game.
Oh, okay. Already. I'm probably with you there. I want to see more from Boonville, or not from Boonville. I've seen plenty from Boonville, from Mansfield. Yeah. To really get on that bandwagon.
They're just not ready yet. Boonville.
I like what you're doing though, Mansfield.
You got to.
Yeah.
6-0
in the year, man.
Yeah, I used to live up there in northwest Arkansas, and going through Mansfield, for some reason, it always reminded me a lot of the scenario of going through Mount Ida. The towns are kind of very similar, and they just they're right below a mountain ridge, and they just always reminded me a lot of each other. But good to see Mansfield. They got a new school, they got a new stadium maybe 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. Everything's going good for them. That's a big game for them with Boonville.
They're on the upswing.
And great support right there.
Yeah.
Mansfield. Boonville wins, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. We'll just kind of breeze through it because we don't have much in the terms of some matchups that we had this past week here in the 3A. Just kind of the nature of the beast sometimes. But Clinton lead the way there in the 3A too. No surprise there. Melbourne and Harding Academy also right there behind them. Those two go head to head this week, so that's a big one. And again, there's a lot of big games here, even though they're not in our big games graphic there, because we'd like to focus on the ranked ones for that one. That's a big game though. We want to get out there on that one for sure. I want to see the Bearcats if they can hang with some of the traditional big dogs here. Glancing through the 3A2, you kind of got Osceola, Newport. You saw them both getting some votes here. That matchup is looming at the end of the season. So if things kind of fall according to plan, those will be two undefeated matchups come late in the year, and that one will be a doozy of a game to get out to. Glen Rose and Atkins are still doing work. They're in the 3A4, I think. Yeah, they've got a couple of weeks till they meet each other, but a bit of a log jam in that one too. You got those two, Mayflower and Baptist Prep. I mean, you want to talk about a conference that's loaded, especially in the 3. That one right there, and then Jessieville and even Danville are in that same conference. So that one's pretty tough as well.
Yep.
Who else we got here? We got the 3A5. I'll just kind of roll through some of these. That's Smackover. That's kind of theirs to win right now, but Camden Harmony Grove's coming on. They're starting to kind of get it together down there.
That was such
I know
a
they
big
struggled
win.
a little bit.
I'm just amazed by that Smackover win at Prescott, because now Prescott, this is what's going to be tough. Prescott now have to go on the road.
Yeah.
They're going to be the road. They're going to be the road opponent now, because they're not going, unless Smackover stops their feet before the conference season's over. Smackover's going to win that conference. I
would imagine there, but they still got Camden Harmony Grove to deal with. That'll be the final game of the year, so some things will probably yet to be decided. But of course, Camden Harmony, God, you got to feel bad for them. They end the year home against Prescott, on the road, Smackover. So
yeah, that's pretty tough.
We'll see where they end up falling in the sort of the pecking order. And then Centerpoint, the Knights also kind of hanging tough there. Already played Smackover, kind of took it on the chin to them, but got Camden Harmony Grove this week. So we'll see if Centerpoint is really for real in this mixture here. All right, let's get to the 2A. We got a lot to talk about here in the 2A because we got out to a few games this week. There you see Mount Ida and Foreman there. You 1-2, Hazen, Junction City. Pretty much no change. Even the tie is still the same with Conway Christian and Earl. And then you see Salem, Hampton, Fordyce, and EPC, one of our old favorites.
County.
One of our old favorites here.
Well, I know where you want to go.
Man, I'm telling you.
We got a matchup this Friday night.
We got some big time matchup this Friday night. Well, before let's talk a little. Let's talk about some of these other teams. We'll have plenty of time here for that big matchup here.
What about Junction City? They've
Ooh,
number one all practically the whole year last year in 3A.
In 3A.
They don't win the state championship. They get defeated. But then they drop to 2A.
And we just thought they'd run roughshod.
But they're not. They're down there for it because you got some real powerhouses up above them.
Well, even right behind them there, you got Conway Christian.
Earl's good. Hampton, if you'll recall, Hampton played the state championship a couple of years ago. Has a lot of speed, good size. And there's a lot of good football playing right here.
You see the Red Bugs, and then, like I said, our old pals, EPC.
East Point
finally get it. I remember they like to kind of fling it around, EPC. I don't know if they're still running that same style offense, but there you go here. Hazen, one of these teams I want to talk about. I mean, I feel like any other year, Hazen would be the talk of the town. They had a big, man, that conference actually is really big. Our old pal Mitch Petros is out there for that game, taking on Desark. Go ahead and throw it up there for me, guys. But really, that conference is just a doozy, and Hazen has just been running roughshod over it. What do you make of the Hornets there?
Hazen's very good. They were coming on strong last year.
Yeah.
And they're certainly there now. I think most of us had Hazen beating Desark last week. So
yeah.
Not a huge surprise there, but this is just when you're playing your conference opponents. And this is the thing, Jay, about the 2A and the 3A. Mm-hmm. These teams have been playing each other for years.
Oh, a long time.
It's not like they're bouncing like the 4, 5, 6, where schools are. You can see which schools are growing,
kind of up and down,
and which schools are declining. They're staying right there, so they're playing each other forever. And that
2A6 has played each other for a long time. I mean, you've got the likes of you got Hazen, Earl, Desark, Clarendon, Carlisle, Brinkley. None of them like each other, and that's what I really love about that conference.
And they've all played each other forever.
Forever.
So big win for Hazen. Very strong team. That back looks very good for Hazen right there also.
Oh yeah, absolutely here. And Hazen. We'll just kind of highlight the 2A6 here. a little bit. I mean, that one is jam-packed as well. You got Hazen and Earl leading the way. Obviously, you know, both those teams getting some votes.
Earl's a very good
ranked,
football team. We've been watching Earl for about the past 4 or 5 years. They're a very consistent football team.
Yeah.
They're a very good football team. And that's going to be a big collision coming up.
Oh, it sure is. And then Desark and Clarendon. Clarendon even hanging in there. They're sitting at 2-1. So you've got some old tradition. You know, Brinkley used to be one of those real good teams. Carlisle, same thing. And they're struggling a little bit, but they're still lingering around here. In fact, let me see where that Hazen Earl game. Okay, we got another week for that one, so we'll hold off on the build-up for that one. I know you'll be ready to go, ready to talk about that one here.
You'll be pulling the reins back on me.
Another team here, Foreman, the Gators. How about the Gators? Oh, man, they've been rolling this year. They have yet to give up a point officially.
They're the defending state champion also.
Well, yeah, you got that going as well.
But yeah, Foreman Gators, very good football team. They won another championship. What a season they had last year. They got smoked. They went, you know, we were watching them playing, you know, the collision came with Mount Ida
we had that one honed in for a while.
And they got smoked. They gave up over 30 points to Mount Ida.
What was the final on that one? Did you ever find that one?
Yeah, I think I did. I just so happened to have it here. I think it was like 31-7.
Yeah, on the handy-dandy Fearless Friday app here. Let me pull that up.
They were at Mount Ida, and they got smoked 36-7 last year.
I remember that. I remember being, I don't want to say like disappointed, but I was let down by that one. I thought that game would be a lot closer, a lot better.
Then they had a rematch in the championship game. You had the defending champion, Mount Ida Lions.
Yeah, defending champs.
Coming back at Little Rock, and Foreman returned serve, beats them 24-21.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And Foreman is your new state champion. So now you've got the past 2 defending state champions on a huge collision this Friday night.
Yeah, this Friday night. Throw it up there, Steve.
Game of the week right here.
We got it. Game of the week.
This is the game of the week. I talked about several of them. I've talked about Fayetteville, Bentonville, which is a good game. Northside Conway, which was a good game. Jonesboro, West Memphis, which is a good game. This is your game right here. Is Mount Ida and Foreman this Friday night.
Absolutely. It's probably going to be a real quick game, so you make sure you want to get out there because both these teams like to run the ball. And, in fact, I had it figured out here. Where are they at here? You just go to the old Fearless Friday app. And again, officially, Foreman has not given up. Now, they played Smackover, lost to them, but unfortunately Smackover had to vacate that game.
Yeah, they had an ineligible player.
Yeah. So that doesn't count. I don't know how it works in the official sense, but you know, they gave up 45 in that one. But if you take that out of the equation, they have not given up.
Well, you have to take
it
out because it's a forfeit game. You have to take.
Yeah, that's right.
You have to take that. You have to take those points out. It's as if the game
never happened.
But you get the W.
Yeah, but they get the win. And then you look down there at Mount Ida. You know, the most they've given up is 7 points.
It's
a game. So this is going to be a defensive juggernaut.
It's the game of the week. There's no doubt about it. And I'm talking about of the state.
Oh yeah.
This is the game.
This is it.
The game is at Foreman. This
almost
is
Texas.
The past two defending champions. This is the game that everybody wants right here.
Absolutely. In fact, I think to even get to that one from Little Rock, you have to cross over a little bit into Texas in order to get up into Foreman, unless you want to take all the windy back roads. But that one's a long way. I was going to tell Wes, man, send me to that one, but that 3-hour timeline almost kind of. So hopefully we get one of our sister stations down there picking that one up for us. So because I would love to see, and that's going to be one of those ones. You know, you were talking about McClellan, Texarkana having the update going. While I'm out there, I'll actually be at El Dorado Benton. So look for me out there, guys. I'll kind of be scrolling through trying to get updates on that game as well.
Yeah, this is, like I say, it's the game that you're going to want to see.
Yeah.
#1 game in the state by far. I think Texarkana, and they're real close together too. How about that? You got Foreman right there on the road hosting Mount Ida, and you got Texarkana hosting Little Rock McClellan. So, Jay, who do you like in this game?
Oh, who do I like in this one, man? I've been a big fan of Mount Ida, but I probably got to lean Foreman.
I'm going Mount Ida. I think
Mount
Ida goes on the road and gets Foreman again.
There's a revenge factor in this one.
I think I like Mount Ida.
And this is,
you know, in both these big games in Miller County, I'm taking the road dog.
You're taking the road team. You're not a big road team guy.
No, I'm not.
You like the home teams.
You know, we do the play. You know, I like
I know.
home teams, but I
like those home teams.
I'm going with the road teams on these.
All right. And what's really funny, this one right here could go one of two ways. It's either going to be one of these 7-6 type games, Or it could end up being 35-31.
I think it's in the 20s. I think it's going to be
kind of like the state title game, sort of?
Very similar.
Okay.
I think it's going to be in the 20s. I think both teams are going to score. I think they're going to have trouble stopping the other team. And, you know, you talk about Nashville having the 7 turnovers. I think turnovers could determine the outcome of this game right here.
Well, luckily, it's going to be a nice clear night, so we don't have to worry about weather and all that kind of good stuff.
It's going to feel like football, though. It's going to be a little crisp in the air.
Finally, right? Get your light jackets out for that one.
A little crispy.
Now, like I said, you may not be out there for that one for long because that clock's going to move because both those teams like to run, so we'll see how that one breaks out. I'm excited for that one here.
Absolutely great. Best week of the season for high school football. Get out and go watch a football game.
Absolutely here. And if you can't get out there, make sure you get the old Fearless Friday app. That way you can help keep up. You can get out that on the Apple Store, Google Play. Download that thing. It's just like having the desktop right there with you. It's real easy navigation. You can go through the standings page like we've been doing all morning. You can get to the message boards if you want to back your team up. You want to talk some junk. If you're Mount Ida, you can get on there and just trash Foreman, vice versa, all that good stuff. A lot of good numbers to look at in there. You can sort it out by conference record, road record, all that good stuff. Just go ahead and get that because it's vital to your existence. And then like I said, if you got the desktop version, fearlessfriday.com. Again, everything right there, handy dandy for you. And then also make sure you tune in here on Fox 16. 9:30, we kind of get things as they're developing, as things are coming to an end, and then the 10:30 full state wrap-up. I think we got 26 games on tap for you this week. Might try to sneak in 1 or 2 more, depending on what we can get away with, because we're just out here. We do it bigger, we do it better here on Fox 16. So that will do it here. Week 6 is in the books. We're getting into week 7. We're already flying through here, man. We're going to start talking playoffs here pretty soon. I'm excited. All right, so
I'll declare a state champion next week.
A little late in the year for me to start doing that.
I usually do it like the second week of the year.
Yeah, you're usually ready to pop somebody some champagne or some grape
I'm real
juice.
close. I'm real close, but I'm going to tell them to start ordering next week.
Ooh, what classification? Give us that at least.
You'll just have to.
Oh, man, he leaves me hanging even. All right. So you have an incentive to come back here next week. Like I said, you can get on fearlessfriday.com, look at all the old shows, all that good stuff there. We'll try to get one of our good coaching friends in here this next week so we can have a lot of good analysis, good breakdown from the coaching standpoint of things. All right, that'll do it for us here, Week 6, Fearless Friday Underground. We will see y'all next week.